And what I want to talk to you about is just kind of an overview of the U.S. Green Building Council, the LEED standard. The USGBC, it's a nonprofit organization. Their goal is really to transform the building industry and make it greener. Why build green? In terms of CO2 emissions, buildings are actually the #1 emitter. And most of that has to do with electricity use. Buildings not only affect the environment, but they have effects on the social and economic side of things as well. On the social side, there's the concepts of connectivity and transportation and services, also educational opportunities. On the economic side, if you're saving water and you're saving energy, guess what? You're saving money. Even though people get sicker in the wintertime, it's not because it's cold out. It's actually because you're indoors more. And it's kind of sad to think about it, but our indoor environments are actually what's contributing to our sicknesses. What greener buildings are trying to do is to build not only with environmental considerations, but also with the consideration of human health inside of these buildings. The demand gets higher for a building that's going to A, save energy, and B, be healthier. This is a place people want to live, and they're willing to pay more to stay there. One metric that I found was that for every $1 decrease in operating costs, it can translate to, on average, a market value increase of that building by $10. You're at certified if you reach 40 points. You're at silver if you reach 50. You're at gold if you reach 60, and you're at platinum if you reach 80. All this talk about green buildings and LEED, so what does one of these actually look like? This is Green Building 101. First thing you want to do to maximize daylighting opportunities and controllability of sunlight is orient your building along the cardinal axis, with your northern and southern elevations being your long elevations, and your east and west elevations being the shorter elevations. This project also has stormwater planters and permeable paving. Both allow stormwater to absorb on site and infiltrate on the site without running off. Reducing runoff is going to reduce the pollution to streams as well as reducing flooding. In this case, they decided to take advantage of all the rain and just use their natural stormwater to flush their toilets. So we're removing the sun in the summer when we don't need it and adding the sun in the winter when we do, by simply having a light shelf at the right distance for that latitude to provide sun and block the sun when needed. And that's the light shelf we talked about that's balancing the daylight in and balancing up the ceiling. And this room is very well lit without any artificial lighting. So it sucks in air from the north and south sides of the building and therefore sucks air through those operable windows, which is pulling natural cooler air from the outside into the building, and it vents it up to the atrium. You must comply with environmental laws. Number 2 is that it must be a building. You must use a reasonable site boundary. You must comply with minimum FTE and floor area requirements. The 5th MPR is that you must comply with minimum occupancy rates. Registration and certification activity must comply with reasonable timetables and rating system sunset dates. You must allow the USGBC access to your whole building energy and water usage data. And the final MPR, the final minimum program requirement for the LEED 2009 system, is that you must comply with a minimum building site to area ratio. So now what I'm going to do is show you an example of what a completed checklist might look like. You see it's organized by credit categories like sustainable sites and water efficiency and energy and atmosphere, etc. Going credit by credit, we can see which credits that we've designated as yes. You know, which ones we're saying yes we can go for, and then therefore how many points we got in each of those. And so the total that we're looking at down here is a total of 66 for yes. We also have 20 maybes. What we're looking at here is a potential gold project. So now I'm going to take us up onto LEED Online. You can see my one project that I am a part of showing up on the project list. And then we get to this section where we have the option of going through this large questionnaire to narrow down which building rating system do we actually want to use. The scorecard looks like this. It just shows you basics like the prerequisites. So sustainable sites, or SS, has one prerequisite. WE has one prerequisite. So in the very beginning, if you look at this, we have schematic design, or SD, construction documents, CD. In between that, we have design development, DD. That's our design phase. Then we have our bid phase, where we're looking for a contractor to implement our design. Then we have our construction phase, followed by occupancy. So when we're trying to maximize our credit achievement, there's some simple strategies we can take. The ID credits, or the IO credits, the Innovation in Design or Innovation Operations credits. One way to earn these is through earning exemplary performance. For example, in water, if you reach 50% water reduction, this is exemplary performance. You're allowed to get not only all the points possible for that credit, but an additional point for exemplary performance. The first prerequisite, which applies to all three of these rating systems, is SSP1, or Sustainable Sites Prerequisite 1, and that's for construction activity pollution prevention. Making sure that this site has been remediated if it has been in any way contaminated. And we want to make sure that there was never a landfill on this site. What are considered inappropriate sites? Prime farmland, flood zones, endangered species habitats, wetlands, previously undeveloped land that's within 50 feet of a water body. SS Credit 4.1 deals with public transportation access. MR Credit C 1.1 is building reuse. MR Credit 2, construction waste management. MR Credit 3, material reuse. Notice I have on the left the type of material, then we have the total cost of that material, then we have the material value cost for each one of these types of credits. And that takes us to the final section of LEED, which is innovation in design. You can earn anywhere from 4 to 5 points in ID Credit 1. This is the school as a teaching tool. Design curriculum based on the sustainable features of the building and implement that curriculum within 10 months of the LEED certification, while providing at least 10 hours of classroom instruction per year per full-time student. New to LEED 2009, which is the regional priority section. An example would be in a very arid area, there would probably be more regional priority for water use reduction. And so making sure that you're achieving those water use reduction credits may be able to give you some bonus points. Building to these greener standards, and especially LEED, could really pay off financially in the end.